Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm here to do my 2021 TBR. Every year I do a list like this where I list 10 to 12 books that I plan to read that coming year. The year before was the best year that I did this. I think I read 10 out of 12 books, and then last year I downgraded the list to 10 books, and I read 3 of them because it was 2020, and we know what that means. I actually was doing pretty well because I read 3 of them, which I read in the first 3 months of the year before everything, did what 2020 did. So yeah, I was going real strong, and then the pandemic hit, and I just threw any goal I had out the window. But I know 2021 will not be the same as like 2019, for example, at least how the world is wise, and it will probably be more similar to how 2020 is going than 2019 went. But I'm just deciding not to let myself wallow in it anymore. I really feel like I need to do things again, and I want to work on that in 2021. And so I know a lot of people, because of how 2020 went, decided not to set like goals and things for themselves, which is perfectly valid. But I feel like I should be doing that because I feel like I really just gave myself license to not do things. And this isn't just reading wise, I think I'm talking more broadly, but in this specific instance, also reading wise. So I do want to get back on track with things that I want to do, and I like setting goals for myself. I like doing that. It's fun for me. So this is one aspect of that. It's just 10 books that I want to read next year. These are all backlist books. None of them are like 2021 new releases. And they're just books that have been on my TBR for a while that I feel like I should have gotten to by now and want to get to this year. Yeah, basically I'm just trying to convey that there's no real rhyme or reason for this list of books. It's just 10 books that I want to read. And I'm going to tell you about them and the synopses and why I want to read them. So the first book on this list is Singin' and Swingin' and Gettin' Merry Like Christmas by Maya Angelou. This is the 3rd book in her series of memoirs, and this just follows her more into her adult life. The first book followed her from childhood to the birth of her son, and then the second book followed her from that point to like early adulthood, and this one follows her, I think, through like regular adulthood. I don't know, she's older than me in this one. And I've tried to read a volume every year, so I just want to continue that trend. So eventually by 2026, I think, if I can do math, I'll have finished her memoirs. Hopefully I'll speed up eventually, but I want to at least get one read every year, and that will be enough for me. IET by Roxane Gay. This is Roxane Gay's debut, at least debut fiction. I'm not sure if it's her full-on debut. I'm pretty sure it's her full-on debut. I could be making this up, but I think it was like out of print, but then Roxane Gay got like more famous because of Bad Feminist and all her other books and just, being Roxane Gay, and this was like re-released. So yeah, I want to get to it now. I think I have an ebook copy or something, but I'm trying to read all of Roxane Gay's books, and this is the next one on the list. Oh, I didn't even tell you what it follows. It's a collection of short stories about various aspects of the Haitian diaspora, and I don't know if I technically count as a Haitian diaspora because I was born in America, so I don't know, but my parents are Haitian. They were born in Haiti, so really want to read this. Next, I have 2 books, part of the same series. We have The Obelisk Gate and The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. These are the last 2 books in the Broken Earth trilogy. I read the first book 2 years ago, I want to say, and I plan to continue on that year, and then the second book was on my 2020 TBR, and I didn't make it happen. So this year I want to complete the series. I want to finish my first N.K. Jemisin series. I really liked the first book, and I think I'm going to like the second and third books better than the first book. So I really want to read it, and I want to eventually read all of N.K. Jemisin's books. So yeah, I gotta do that to do that, We've been interrupted by a Tucker, so sorry if that happens. And I also want to say the Broken Earth trilogy is a high fantasy series that takes place in a world that periodically ends in natural disaster. So every 100 or so years, something big happened in the world and most of the world dies. In this world, there are magic users called Orgons who are basically earthbenders, and they are heavily persecuted because of this. And in the first book, we follow 3 people: a woman who returns home to find that her husband has killed their son and has kidnapped their daughter. A second perspective is a girl who's starting school at the Fulcrum, which is a place where they force Orgons to go to so that they can train them and control them. And then the third perspective is a woman who's been at the Fulcrum for a long time, and she's sent out on a special mission. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. This follows a girl named Claudia whose best friend Monday doesn't show up to school one day, and she goes missing. But Claudia seems to be the only one who cares, as she keeps asking people where her friend is, and nobody can give her a straight answer. So we follow Claudia as she tries to figure out what's going on. This is the last book that I need to read in order to complete all of Tiffany D. Jackson's backlist. I have a special video that I want to come out once I do that, but I, have to complete the backlist in order to make it happen. So yeah, this is high priority on the list. If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. This is Japanese translated fiction that follows a man who receives a terminal diagnosis, and so he expects to only live a few more months, but then he's visited by the devil, who offers him a deal. He offers him one day— Hey, Tucker! He offers him 1 day of life in exchange for making him— okay, can you stop it. He offers him 1 day of life in exchange for making one thing in the world disappear. If you are familiar with my channel, if you're familiar with my previous TBRs, like monthly TBRs, you know that this has appeared on many. So I want to make it happen this year. It is going to happen this year. I want to read this book. Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. This follows a girl whose father receives terrible news, and so her family decides to go to their old summer house for one last good summer. I actually own all of Morgan Matson's books. I think she used to be way more popular on BookTube. I don't think she's unpopular now, but I feel like she just had even more of a presence on BookTube when I first started, and her books kept going on sale. So basically I own all of her books is the moral of that story. And I've only read 2 of them, and I enjoyed both of them, but I would like to finish reading her books because I own them all. So this is next on that list. My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is a sort of retelling / reimagining of the life of Lady Jane Grey, and it's supposed to be humorous and fun, which sounds fun to me. And this is also the oldest book on my Kindle, so I would like to read it to get it off of my TBR. Charming as a Verb by Ben Philippe. This follows a boy named Henry who plays the role of the dutiful first-generation Haitian son Well. He's a popular student and star debater at his school, and he's a trusted dog walker for his wealthy New York City neighbors. The only person who seems immune to Henry's charms is his classmate, Corinne. And when Corinne figures out that Henry's dog walking business is less than honest, she blackmails him into helping her change the school's opinion of her because she is known as intense and just not as friendly, I guess. And so this seems like it's going to be a cute little romance, and it'll be fun. I also really want to know how this dog walking business is less than honest. This was one of my most anticipated 2020 releases, so I'd like to read it pretty soon. This is also the newest book that I got on my Kindle because it was on sale. It might still be on sale. Check the Kindle store. And the last book on my 2021 TBR is The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Elias Sainz. I'm just going to read the Goodreads synopsis for this. Sal used to know his place with his adoptive gay father, their loving Mexican-American family, and his best friend Samantha. But it's senior year, and suddenly Sal is throwing punches, questioning everything, and realizing he no longer knows himself. If Sal's not who he thought he was, who is he? So that's synopsis. Sounds good to me. Love a coming of age. And also, I loved Benjamin Elias Sainz's first book, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. You've probably heard of it. I love that book, and so I'm looking forward to his next book. I believe this is his next book. I believe he's on either his 3rd or 4th book now, but So those are all the books on my 2021 TBR. I'm kind of worried that I said 2020 TBR in the beginning of this video, so we'll see if that happens in editing. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. In the comments down below, leave me one book that would be on your 2021 TBR and or the peace sign emoji for fun. Yeah, if you just don't want to say anything or whatever, you don't have anything on 2021 TBR, you can just leave a peace sign emoji. So I know you made it this far into the video. Again, thank you so much for watching. Follow me on my social media. I have Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram, which I'm trying to get more back on. My cat is featured in my Instagram. And yeah, if you love cat pictures and you love pictures of books, check it out. So subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.